What's the crack? You? Are we on? James on his phone and all. We were just sharing a picture of
our ghetto setup.
We'll show you this before we get started because it's just so fucking cool. This is actually what live at 11 screen. Look at this. How does that laptop even balance on that fucking roll?
What's that dildo doing there?
That's the mic. It does look like a big silver dildo. And there's some blue roll. That's actually what you need to set your Mac on. I mean, like, and that is a chair.
You gotta sit on that to spit out words of wisdom.
So
listen, what are we talking about today?
We are going to be talking about how you can pump out money-making content like a fucking Terminator-like machine. We have tons of ideas for this.
Because we've been kind of bashing people over the head about Facebook ads over there the last while, and if you haven't taken us up on the offer over the last few days, you missed out. So let's get into today. We're talking about content.
Like, look, loads and loads of people struggle with content. Like, what do you actually put out there that's going to engage your audience and start turning people who visit your content frequently, like how to just get them engaged so that they want to know more, they lean in, take that step closer to you, and then ultimately at the end of the day you want them to become your clients. But it all starts with content. People struggle with that.
Yeah, and again, look, I think most people don't actually struggle with the content of the content, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. What they struggle with is the kind of inspiration of that initial idea, the getting started bit, just a bit to push them off the fence and get that little bit of momentum going. So the first thing that we've got for you is, all right, it's how to, I suppose, segment one idea, split one idea into multiple ideas. So what you want to think to yourself when you are creating a bit of content, it has to speak to a particular person. So let's say in a scenario where you are training men, okay? And let's say there's a scenario where you are training men who are in their late 30s, 40s, 50s or above, all right? There's a few trigger words or a few buzzwords that's going to catch their attention. And testosterone.
I'm in that category.
Yeah, me too. I'm sailing towards it. So testosterone, and especially low testosterone, is something which is going to, I suppose, trigger men's attention.
Yeah, because some people are going to experience low testosterone.
So if you were to see something along the lines of 3 things to combat low testosterone, or 3 questions to ask yourself to find out if you've got low testosterone, that's going to catch those people's attention. So let's say we start off with the three things, all right? Or 3 things to combat low testosterone. So you might turn around and say, okay, stress is going to be 1. It's going to be potentially the food that we eat and potentially exercise resistance training. So there's 3 things that could benefit or help someone with low testosterone. Now you've got 3 things to write about, all right? So you could do a video, you could do a blog, you could send an email with those 3 tips in it. And then to segment that out and make those 3 tips broader into more things, you could take each one of them. So let's say we said sleep. You could give a guy 3 tips on how to get more sleep. Yep. So this could be another blog or another series or a part 2 or part 3 or whatever the case may be.
But we'll turn one piece of content there into 3.
Well, what you've done is you've taken one idea and splintered it down into 3 individual topics. Lovely. Or 3 individual tips. And then each of those individual tips you could splinter down into 3. So 1 becomes 3, becomes 9.
Fucking hell.
So now you've got 9 things to talk about. So let's say we're talking about the sleep. That could be 3 things. 3 ways to get better sleep, more sleep, whatever you want. Then food. 3 types of food or 3 ways of eating to help increase your testosterone.
Or 3 foods you avoid if you have low testosterone.
There's another way, all right? So that 3 could become 6. 3 things to eat, 3 things not to eat. All right?
Mm-hmm. And then from Thailand. Bye, man.
He's probably on the mushrooms now at the minute and in a hammock with a coconut in one hand. All right.
Where were you?
I won't say what. Don't say that. Like,
there was a long pause there.
It involved a lady, boy. You don't know.
Okay.
And anyway,
we'll end it there.
So the other one was, so we had the 3. The other one was training. All right. So 3 tips on 3 tips on training to help boost up someone's testosterone levels. So there you take one idea. Break it down into 3 things, 3 tips, 3 check off, 3 questions, and then take each of those 3 things and subdivide them further down. Then in terms of delivering that out to your audience, it could be a blog, it could be an email, it could be a video, it could be a written post, or it could be a combination of all those things. And just remember that one idea or one piece of content can go on multiple platforms. So it could be on your blog, it could be on Facebook, it could be on Instagram, it could be on YouTube. I mean, if you've got a WhatsApp group, you could send it out to there as well.
And now you've just said that, somebody might be asking the question, well, which one's the best? You nearly lost your fucking coffee. He did. He lost his coffee.
Nearly.
So which one's the best? People always ask, well, what social media platform is the best? This is the answer. Where are your audience spending most time? So if you know where your audience are, because different people spend, especially depending on the demographics, younger dudes may be on different places or different platforms compared to older dudes. So you need to ask yourself, well, the kind of people that I train, what's the platform that I'm going to engage most of those on? So where the fuck do they hang out? And then that's the right place to go. Then you're like, okay, we're in the medium. Well, should I do videos? Well, like, which one are you best at? So where's your audience at, and which one are you most comfortable doing? Because if you pick something that you're not good at, it's the start that stops most people.
Yeah, and one other little piece probably on that could be that depending on the type of content that you're doing would suit one platform better than the other. So you might have to segment out, and even the way you communicate. If you say fucking shit and all that, just stuff similar to us, maybe you're not going to stick that on LinkedIn because people aren't expecting to hear that there. If you're doing longer videos, YouTube might be better. Then you might have to put a shorter video on Facebook and a shorter video again on Instagram. All right, so just think about those things, because the type of content you do and how you deliver that content is going to have a positive or negative impact on depending on the platform you put it on.
Cool. So that's number one. So the split method. The second thing is like this idea of peeking behind the curtain. So we actually did this at the very start of today's show. Now, if you're listening to this back on the podcast, you won't see, but we showed a picture of the actual setup. So we were showing you, like, you guys normally see it from this here, where your face on, you see where we're delivering the show.
Handsome mofos.
Yeah, but you don't actually see that the setup's real fucking ghetto. I mean, we have a table with the chair on top of it with a blue roll, and the laptop sitting on top of that, and there's a mic on a thing of protein. I mean, that's a real peek behind the curtain. You know, we just get shit done. All right, we just get shit done. But us showing you that is like, fuck, these are human guys too. Do you know what I mean? Fuck. So us showing you that we're like really human and just like you know, you're going like, fuck, I didn't realize about the guys. Look at them dudes with their ghetto setup, like, for doing their podcast or doing their live. So now instantly you feel like you're a wee bit closer to us. Like, we've let you in and stuff, and you're like, fuck, I know those dudes a wee bit more, and that helps build trust and it helps engage the audience. And well, that was funny as well. So that wee bit of humorous interaction you got to see behind the curtain of what we actually do and how it rolls here allows you to see shit you would normally see. And again, that's just the barriers and getting you into a more intimate zone with us dudes.
Yeah, and look, ultimately, if you see the way we've set this up, a lot of people might put obstacles up in front of themselves. It's going to be difficult. I've got to have this. I've got to have lights. I've got to have mics. I've got to have shit to hold the mics, all this type of stuff. And ultimately, you don't need any of that. If you've got a phone, you've got a laptop, you can rock and roll. So it kind of lowers down the barrier a little bit. And the exact same thing when people are thinking about going to the gym or they're thinking about hiring a trainer, they perceive all the difficult bits, all right? And what they're going to say to themselves is, you know, what if I get to the gym and, you know, I'm the unfittest person there, or what if I'm not strong, or what if I can't do something, what if I look stupid, what if, all right? And just by you pulling back the curtain a little bit, will allow people to say, oh, it's not that bad, all right? If they say to themselves, it's not that bad, they've already taken a mental step forward.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, like, sharing the real shit, like, the peek behind the curtain thing is not trying to project the idea that you're perfect all the time. You don't have to, like, I've seen it, but somebody put up a post, I think it was Sarah Smith actually put up a post that was fucking dead. He was like, quick, it's Monday. Look like you've got your shit together for Facebook. You know, that's what everybody does, money. It's like money motivation. Everybody's trying to pretend they've got their shit together, that everything's perfect. And that's not true. So, like, when you're pulling the curtain back, you're not only letting people in on the good shit, you're letting them in on the bad shit. And that's really, really important, because if you share some of the vulnerability and the struggles that you have as a person, that helps you connect with the audience, because they haven't got their shit together. But if you're there projecting that you've got it all perfect, well, you just make the distance between you and them that much more vast that they think is this massive mountain to climb. What you should really be doing is showing them the struggles and the conflicts that you have. Jay's showing his biceps for one of the members of the gym coming in. So
it's nice.
It is a very nice motor. So if you show those conflicts and the struggles that you have, that's where the connection is with your audience. So peeling the curtain back in that way and sharing this shit is a faster way to gain trust with an audience and grow your audience and get them to the point where they're ready to take the next step. And the next step is actually to come in and sit in front of you or get to the front door of your business where they can become a client. Right?
Yeah, and as you were saying, you know, it's to share your own struggles. It's to share stuff that's going on in your life. And you know, I know it's a bit shit, and people are like, "Oh, I don't want to see more food on Facebook and pictures of food." But listen, we can argue with the reality that people actually do. You know, a certain amount of people do want to see certain shit. So whether it's your workouts, whether it's, hey, this is how we eat. It doesn't have to be every picture of every meal, but it could be actually the shitty meal that you eat. Here, I'm having a can of Coke. I'm having a few beers. I've gone up to the corner shop and I got a bit of a shitty lunch. But hey, listen, I'm real too. It's just the same way you are. I've had it. And listen, the world hasn't ended. I haven't got fat just by eating one meal, and neither will you. So it's rock on. It's just showing that you're a real human and not kind of fucking some dude up on a pedestal.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people don't do that, and it's key to gain trust.
So I suppose moving on then to, and again, guys, if you've got any questions, hit them up because we'll have a few minutes at the end here.
There's Andrew. What about you, mate?
You. But the next kind of thing to think about is, you know, if you're still a bit stuck, or if you're stuck, you've got loads of content ideas, but you're not quite sure if the people you train or the people you want to train actually care about what you have to say, you know, because sometimes we have a course of knowledge and what we want to talk about is not quite at the same level married up to what the people want to hear. Mm-hmm. So what the hell do we do in that situation?
Well, you ask them. So the ask method is really, really simple. It's just like, you could put up a post. Hey, I'll tell you what. Let's give them this for free. If you're struggling, or we've given you a load of ideas and you just don't know what want to take action on, do this one thing now. Write this down. Write down. If I could sit down, if you could spend 30 minutes with me, like imagine if I was going to take you for coffee and I promise not to sell you. That's what I always say because people think I'm going to sell them. If I promise not to sell you and I asked you, what is it you struggle most with when it comes to, and then say, please fill in the blank for me. And they will fill in the blank and tell you what they struggle with most. And that's the shit to do your content on, isn't it?
And that's quite easy. You know, you can ask people face to face. You can ask people in Facebook, Instagram, a video, whatever the case may be. Or, you know, even just when you're out in public and you get talking to people, overhear conversations, you know, these are things that people talk about. Could be in step and there's all people talking about, blah, 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 blah. It's just you're getting in on the conversation and they have that guard up, because sometimes if you go and ask people direct, they might have the guard up a little bit. They won't really tell you what they want to know because they might think, hey, listen, I'm going to look a bit stupid here, blah, blah, blah. So sometimes that can be cool as well. But
I think if you take that post up on Facebook with a picture, you know, if you could spend 30 minutes with me, here's another weapon. If you could have time, what would you ask me? When it comes to, you know, because
health, fitness.
Yeah, make sure you put that on it.
Yeah, because otherwise all your mates be commenting on there, how big is your dick? Or that type of stuff.
So do that, or say, what do you, if I promise not to sell you, you can put this in Facebook, if I promise not to sell you, what would you, you know, what do you struggle with most when it comes to like nutrition, training? And then the answer, the things that they come back with, well, that's their fucking struggles. That's where you could go back then and start looking at number one, knowing that that's what your audience wants to hear. And that's good because you get message to market match there, which is quite cool. Like there's no good buying endless pieces of content that nobody gives a fuck about. So if you don't know what people give a fuck about, use the ask method. And that thing that I just said to you there, sticking it on Facebook, you're going to get a load of comments on that. It's very interactive. It's very engaging. And there's going to be a shit ton of ideas that your market actually want to know the answers to. So if you base your content around that, it's going to be super engaging. I think that's a big mistake people make. You know, like you mentioned it earlier, like us as trainers, now where we are, we're so far removed from the dude who we were back in the beginning when we didn't know the stuff we know now, right? You know, we probably were at a stage where we're like, fuck, is fat bad? Fat, you know, shit, you can't eat carbs. Like we were all there at some stage. We were all there doing shit workouts in the beginning, expecting results and not seeing them because there was shit that we just simply did not know. But now we've got to the point where we're a fucking expert. Now, the problem with that, as you mentioned earlier, Jay, is the curse of knowledge. If you know, I go and start talking about the things that I'm reading now and the things that I'm learning now, well, it's so far beyond what my clients are struggling with because they're still at the stage where they're thinking, is fat bad? Is like, do carbs make you fat? You know, I heard that, you know, you can't eat carbs if you want to lose weight. They're struggling with all this shit, but I'm talking about fucking 12-week periodized wave loading undulating programs with quasi-isometric stretching. Jay taught me that, right? Yeah. So if I talk about that, who the fuck's reading that shit? Only another trainer, and that's not who I'm trying to sell to. So that's, again, what you talked about, the curse of knowledge.
Yeah. So guys, listen, there's 3 simple tips. And if you're watching this video now, I mean, go back, start at the beginning, pause it, grab out a pen and paper, take a little note, ask yourself questions of, fuck, how could I apply what they've just said in that situation? If you got any questions while we're still on here, pump them in there. We've still got a few people watching on here.
Yeah, we do. But the only last thing I want to say is we don't send us any more messages about the marketing thing. Seriously, my fucking inbox is just beeping all fucking night. I had to turn the phone off on the airplane mode last night. It's full. It's we're going to be here 2 o'clock today. Andrew's going to be coming down with us, so we'll see you all later, guys.
That's all we got for you.
Dudes, have a fucking great weekend. Speak to you soon.